Gunnar Viermetz, a hunter for a specialized organization, scanned the side door of his reinforced white van. He looked at his contract for details about the animal his bosses wanted him to hunt. It was large, covered in fur, and was killing people.
Helpful,
he mumbled, shaking his head and reaching for a high-caliber rifle. Gunnar picked a few electrified traps, including one heavy claw trap, and attached them to his hiking bag. He double-checked the van's back, searching for imperfections in the large metal cage. He hopped out and looked over the map with red ink notations of reported creature attacks. Gunnar dotted the map with sites of animal attacks reported by the townsfolk. Some said bears, others said wolves. A few even thought it might be a tiger or skinwalker. Gunnar chuckled at the last one.
Wrong country, dude.
He checked his text messages, glancing at the time. It was 15:0. His guide, Annalena, was supposed to arrive by 14:0. Gunnar shrugged and walked into the woods, using his map in conjunction with a compass. The old German quickly reached the rough area of an animal attacks. Wiping the sweat from his brow, he took a swig of water, washing the taste of bitter whiskey from his mouth. He and a contact shared a bottle before he left, leaving him with a disgusting taste. Gunnar glanced across the ground and trees. The dense canopy overhead blocked the sunlight and darkened the forest floor. He searched the ground tracks and breaks in the trees, indicating a large animal came through. He checked his map and compass as he traveled. While searching, he found hoofprints of deer, heard birds and squirrels chirping in the trees, and saw scratch marks of foraging animals. Gunnar found a trail and followed it, hoping to find clues. To his misfortune, he did. Dark, dull, red blood lay splattered along the ground, and chunks of ripped flesh hung along the bark of a tree, with a clear path, marked by drops of blood leading into the woods. Gunnar knew the animal might be at the end, with careful, quiet footsteps and weapon at the ready. He stalked along the side of the trail, watching for signs of tracks or indications of the victim. The blood trail thickened until Gunnar found bits of tissue and a scent worse than his lingering taste of bad medicine. The body of a black-haired woman wearing a uniform, her head and shoulder ripped apart, an arm and half a leg missing, and a name tag lay broken on the ground. Gunnar kept his distance, glancing through the woods in search of the creature. When he was sure the animal was long gone, he approached. Gunnar glanced at the name tag. Annalena Dreyfus's.
That's where you went,
he breathed, exhaling the scent from his mouth. He scanned the woods and stepped away from the body. Gunnar checked for signs of an animal. He found big, wolf-shaped paw prints in the mud. Walking through mud and downed leaves and stepping over branches, the hunter followed the indentations in the ground, noticing a trail leading toward the body. He listened to the sounds around him, watching with every step until he found a drop of blood on the ground a few more meters. Drop after drop, they all led to a cave. Gunnar noted the entrance's size, confirming a set of tracks and fur nearby. He placed a couple of traps, near and around the front, using dried meat as the bait, and positioned himself a small distance away on a short hill. Gunnar aimed his rifle and watched the cave. What little light remained over the canopy faded as night set in, leaving him in the dark. He flipped a switch, changing his scope to night vision. After hours of waiting, he spotted movement near the cave. The brush rustled, and Gunnar froze, focusing on the cave. A small boar peeked out from the bushes.
You bitch! Don't you dare!
Gunnar watched the boar step closer to his electrified claw trap. The hunter aimed his weapon at the boar, his finger on the trigger, ready to fire, and hoped it didn't startle his target away. He saw it. First, a near unseeable black dot, a canine snout, and finally, the eyes of a wolf glowing in the night vision. Step by step, it crawled out of the mouth of the cave, aiming at the approaching boar. The wolf stepped further out of the cave, fangs bared but not making a sound. The paw appeared next, except it wasn't a normal paw. The hunter's jaw slackened. He'd heard tales of finding a creature like this in his work, but getting to see one. Gunnar fell faint when he saw the beast's outstretched arm. His company sent him to capture a terrifying and deadly monster. Gunnar knew he was looking at a werewolf.
Oh, fuck.
He breathed, his shaky hands throwing off his aim. A sudden lightheadedness made him lose focus. A loud squeal reverberated through the air, followed by a howl of pain as the trap snapped shut over the werewolf's leg. Gunnar shot the creature's head, its fur parting as the bullet struck and ricocheted. The creature's ears swiveled as it searched for the origin of the sound, licking the boar's blood off its lips. It stopped, the wolf's ears folding as terror crept over its face. Gunnar could see its legs, twitching in pain from the current of electricity flowing into its body. Yet the monster still stood, feeling woozy and trying to steady his hands. Gunnar fired a second shot, striking the creature in the shoulder. Its ears focused on where Gunnar lay, hidden in the brush. It bent, grabbing the trap, and startled as soon as its clawed hand touched the metal. Gunnar fired a third shot, striking it in the chest. The wolf reached and grabbed the trap once more, attempting to pull it open, ignoring the pain. Gunnar realigned his aim, took a breath, and fired a fourth shot, striking the monster in the head, knocking it off balance. The werewolf rolled in place and frantically wrapped its hands around the trap. With a ferocious roar,